So, I read in the newspaper a story about the bloke who hid liquid Viagra in his Tipex bottle. Apparently, he woke up with a massive correction.
God's sake.
I went to the doctor's yesterday and he told me to stop masturbating. I asked him why, and he said, because I'm trying to examine you. And then, after that, I went to the library and I said if the book about small penises was still available. And she said, I don't think it's in yet. And I said, yeah, that's the one. There you go. Genuine laughs. Genuine laughs.
I feel seen.
We've done it.
I feel dirty now. I just feel like wire brushing debt all the time in the shower.
And that's not the last time my knob will feature tonight. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog version 2, episode 148. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Elton.
And no Jim this week. We have he has family things going on, and also some kind of dental issues. For those of you who've been following this podcast for more than a few years, you know that Jim and dental issues equals, oh God, we're going to get told a terrible, horrible, evil story that's going to make you wince in about 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So look forward to that, because in 2 weeks' time, it's actually Halloween when we're recording. Good Lord, we've managed it. Anyway, we'll get to that another time. So this week, we'll see how everyone's week's been, or how everything's been. And then what we'll do is we'll see if there's any feedback for last week. We were off last week for the previous week's movie, which was, what was it again? What was the movie last week? My brain's completely gone.
The Babysitter. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's this week's, isn't it?
That's this week's.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we don't just throw this together. Oh, No One Will Save You.
That's it. Yes, that one.
That's it. If there's any feedback for that, we'll read it out. And then finally, we will be on to this week's movie, which is, as Elton rightly pointed out, no, it's all right, The Babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So, The Babysitter. And which was your choice, Darren, I believe.
It certainly was, yes.
Cool. Lovely. So we will get to that soon. Right, so let's move on. Let's move on from that into our weeks, and we'll start with you, Elton, because Jim's not here. We usually go for Jim, but he's not around. So what about you, sir? How's your week been?
Okay, not too bad. Thank you very much. I've got 3 things this week that I came across. One was a TV show, one was a video game, and one was, oh, fuck. Bollocks.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I will start with the video game, because that's going to be short and sweet. It'll probably take me longer to explain this game than the amount of time that I actually spent on it.
Right.
The game is called Roblox.
Oh, my God. Okay. Go on.
And I've... Call me sheltered, but I think I heard about this game maybe a week or so ago, and then it turned up for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a week or so? Blimey. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's been out for ages, isn't it?
Decades.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've only just heard this, and it was free on the PlayStations, and so I thought, okay, I'm sure it's going to be good. Loaded it up. Jumped in and was like, okay, what the fuck do I do here? Don't understand. And all I can describe, it's like a crappy Playmobil version of Minecraft, which I absolutely fucking detested. I jumped into one car, drove. It was like driving in a video game from 1998. And I was like, do you know what? I'm all right. And then promptly jumped out that car. I parked it all right, but then jumped out that car and then promptly deleted that game. I was like, no, fuck, I do not have time for this.
I've got to say, unless you're willing, really, it's the thing with Roblox is what people actually do with the base thing itself, what they create with it, not things like digging things out of holes or whatever.
Pardon?
Yeah, if you pardon the expression. It's Roblox can be, the base game can be turned into many different things, but it's like a more for modding than anything else. You can turn it into whatever game you like, and some people get really creative with it, but 90% of them don't, and they go, "Look at the game I've created," and it's just like, "Oh, this is fucking rubbish."
Yeah,
shit. What the fuck?
I think that's about right.
Fucking playing.
Fucking my life.
How many kinds of cunt you have to be to make it?
Honestly, if you look at the time I spent, I don't know if there's a way of actually seeing on PlayStation time spent on games. It's not like Steam.
Let me guess. The install time was less than the play time. Yeah,
more than the play time. Yeah.
Sorry.
If you do launch your PlayStation, if you've got a PlayStation 5, you on your profile, it should tell you how long you've been playing the game in the little timer in the corner.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll let you know when I go buy one of them.
Oh, sorry, mate. I only know this. Because when you got
frosty in here.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh,
wow! I'm just going to go and put a cardi on. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, chilly.
Yeah.
Is it a bit chilly out here? Yeah.
Look
No.
at my claws.
Yeah. No. It's because they now do a thing now where they collect all your timings up at the end of the year and send you a little email saying you spent so many hours doing this, you spent so many hours doing that.
You wasted all this time. Well, congratulations.
Exactly, and that's how I know I played 392 hours of Wipeout. So,
wow.
Yeah, exactly, and 400 hours of PGA 2K19 golf, and 400.
Is that the one that's free?
No, that's the new version is the one that's free. The 2K23, and that is just a shit show. That is just, you launch it and it goes, "Oh, do you want to buy a club?" And it's like, "What, you mean I can't play golf until I bought a club?" And then it goes, and then you get a club,
and it gives you a packet of club biscuits.
Exactly,
I can't do much with those.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like to join a club now?
Yes.
Would you like a lot? If you like a lot of biscuit or chocolate,
join our
biscuit,
club.
Join our club.
Well, actually, it's not far off. I mean, literally, it does nickel and dime you for absolutely everything using magic bean money, and then eventually what happens? And then
does it have microtransactions for the microtransactions?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes.
Is it an EA game?
Yes.
How am I not surprised?
Loot crates all over the place.
You wouldn't fucking believe. And the other thing is, the worst bit is even down to like upgrading. So you've got this whole character progression skill tree, which you didn't have in the previous versions. And every time you want to upgrade a skill, you've got to play so many games to be allowed to freely upgrade your skill. But if you want to upgrade your skill, you can do it with 400 Tiger Woods coins or something, and then that's
Tiger Woods coins.
Yeah, which basically which can only be spent on either beating your wife up with a bat or driving through a tree in a
How many trees do I have to hit for this?
Yeah.
Or paying for a lady of the night.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think you're allowed to do it if you play a game of Crazy Taxi. You get that through. But yeah, and then you can't even upgrade unless you pay for microtransactions. And then every time you do a microtransaction, because I thought, well, fuck it, you know what? 15p, I'll give it a go. I'll have a look. And I did it once.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, no, but that's exactly it. I thought, I hated myself for even doing it, but I thought 15p, I can afford 15p, I will do it. I did one microtransaction. As soon as I did that, a fucking advert comes up going, well, you do know if you buy 600,000 coins for 30 quid, you get more things. And it's like,
my God.
You're just an ad machine selling me ads to make me buy more things to sell me ads. It's like, fuck off. I cancelled the 15p transaction and I deleted
That'll
the
learn
game.
them.
That'll teach them.
You wouldn't nick a DVD. I'm sorry, I'm getting images of that video, you know. You wouldn't pay EA for some microtransactions.
I
just imagine my character stood outside the golf course getting beaten up by the bouncers. No, you haven't got anything. You didn't even turn up in the Jaguar.
Yeah. What are you even here for? Are you here to mow the lawn? You'll need 600 transactions for that. Yep. Yeah. So 2K19, yes.
Jobs for credit.
2K23, no.
Right. Okay.
That's if you're really into golf. If you want to play golf.
EA were the ones that did the weren't they the ones that licensed fucking Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
the third game that almost ruined me financially playing that. We were all doing multiplayer on that.
Yeah, when it suddenly inserted a multiplayer
boxes.
into a single player game and then buying loot boxes.
Yeah. That's what because I was trying to, it's like, I think we were all kind of doing it, but I couldn't help it. I got addicted to buying. It was like, oh, no, sit on your hands, Darren. Don't buy another loot box. But there might be something really cool in the next one. It's always the fucking way.
But it's not gambling. Oh,
no. It's not gambling. No.
Definitely not gambling.
No, of course not. No,
definitely not gambling. Definitely not gambling. But you never know. Take a chance. Oh, sorry. Did we say chance? Yeah. Fucking microtransactions up the wazoo. EA were the ones who were actually going to. This is turned into a game podcast. EA were the actual ones who were going to do a thing about the guy who was running at the time, John Rigatello, actually proposed that for Call of Duty, you would actually have to buy ammo clips in microtransactions.
Oh, really?
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
Is it not enough that, Call of Duty 1, they still charge something like 80 quid for it in fucking CEX? Is it not enough that they suck the public dry with the price of these fucking games? And what was it? The thing I was reading today, I think it was somebody from EA saying, we don't charge enough for games. It's like, yes, you fucking do. You twat.
Well, let's put this... Yeah, go on.
If that had gone ahead, it would be like the Chris Rock joke coming full circle and actually becoming a real thing.
The Chris Rock joke?
Yeah, about something. I forget about it. Something about charging for bullets per bullets, and there'll be no accidental.
That's the way to solve the gun problem in America. You can buy your guns, you can have as many guns as you like, but it costs you $1,500 per bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, man, I'm so mad at you. If I could afford it, I would fucking shoot you.
There'll be no collateral damage whatsoever, would there?
No, there wouldn't. No. I'll tell you what, you'd have some people shooting extremely accurately.
I tell you, the accuracy scores would go up by 100%. But when you said the Chris Rock joke, I thought you meant the fact that he got slapped by Will Smith saying "keep your wife's name out of your mouth," and then it turned out he wasn't married to her for the last 5 years.
That's it.
That's a proper
They've
joke.
been separated.
Hey, you keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Okay, where's your wife? Because that person sitting beside you ain't her. Yes, simp.
Anyway. Will Smith's wife, raise your hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the real Will Smith's wife, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Oh, Dr. Dre. I can't. He's in the basement.
He's in the basement.
Oh, I'd forgotten about him.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, somebody forgot about Dre.
Nobody forgets about Dre.
Nobody puts Dre in the corner.
Oh, my God. Right. The second thing this week.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I accidentally watched a program halfway through the season. And I don't believe there's going to be another season of this. So my mum came up at the weekend and said that she watched the Jimmy Savile thing. The Reckoning with Steve Coogan. Looks incredible. He looks... when I first heard him, I was like, flipping hell, that's good.
Have you seen
so good?
I've watched the trailer of that, and they show him once sitting in a chair going, "What allegations?" And that was enough to make me go, "Do you know what? I don't think I can actually I don't ever could bring myself to watch that show."
Well, I think I saw the trailer. I was like, "No, I need to see that." And thanks BBC for putting episode 4 first. I don't know why they did this to me. They just showed me, no, would you like to do this? And I went, okay, The Reckoning. Press play. No, I'm on episode 4 of season 1. I'm like, there's not going to be a
Season
season 2, is there? Don't fuck me around. I got 20 minutes into episode 4 before I was like, this is kind of all the way through already. I've missed a lot of the start here. Maybe they're going to flash back.
They've jumped to the reckoning. That's what it is. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So how?
I don't know why BBC did that to me. Why did they show me the 4th episode? And
Has your mum been? Can I ask a question? Has your mum been watching it on iPlayer?
not on mine. Definitely
No,
not.
but on hers.
Yes.
Which is that your account?
No.
Ah, okay.
Not linked one little bit.
Okay, I'm just wondering because that might. I was just wondering if maybe that might be it.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
Okay. Go on and carry on anyway. So
Well,
you've had it ruined for you.
Yeah. Well, I kind of know the gist of what's going on.
There's hardly any spoilers for this one.
Aliens. Oh, dear me. No. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the rest of it because Steve Coogan he blows hot and cold with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he's very, very good, and sometimes it's just a bit annoying. But yeah, this is a top-rate performance.
Fucking creepy the way that
Yeah.
it's just yeah. I mean, if you
Close your eyes and it sounds like him so bad.
Oh no.
Don't close your eyes around him though.
No. I was going to say, I don't believe the accusations against him. I mean, next you'll be telling me he wasn't really a proctologist in my hospital ward.
Oh dear.
Sorry. What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway,
Yep.
and the third thing I have as well. So I might tread carefully with this, but imagine
You've just
if
talked about Jimmy Savile, and you're going.
Now
to
I'm treading carefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're treading carefully.
Oh, good lord!
Spoilers for the next season of House of the Dragon. That's what it is. Yeah, we've got to tread carefully for this one.
Imagine you had commissioned someone for something to be created for you as a gift.
Okay.
And they knew the timescale of this, and it knew that it hadn't been picked up just yet. And I don't know what came over the person, but then promptly put it on Facebook, and it was there for everyone to see. And then I had to make like a couple of messages saying, "Mind taking that down, please?" Because you may ruin that. So yeah, that happened to me. It's all good, but I was left a bit disappointed.
So using hypotheticals here. Hypothetically, someone, not you, ordered a thing for a present for someone. Also not related to you. And that person making the present then uploaded it, shared it on Facebook for all to see, including the person who's not you but not related to you, to not see it. Great.
Yeah.
And do you know if said person did actually see it?
That's a good question.
I'm judging from the silence. That may be an affirmative.
I
don't know. Suspicions, benefit of the doubt, and all that. But man, that's not cricket, is it?
No.
Is that what it is? Is it a giant cricket?
Yes, it was a giant cricket bat.
Giant cricket. Okay.
Yeah, sitting in your garden going.
That's what you asked for, and what you got was a 1985 Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, I asked for a model of a giant cricket, and someone gave me a full-blown cardboard cutout of Aha. What the fuck?
There we go. Yeah, exactly. What is that?
I'm hunting high and low. What's that got to do with a fucking cricket, man? Seriously.
Morton fucking Harkett.
Yes.
A bit of a. Oh God, that's frustrating.
Yes, I can well imagine. That's not good. That's not good at all.
That sucks.
Has the issue been resolved in terms of having said thing that's not related to you removed, or what?
I think it was removed like the next day.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day. But look, it's might as well put 10 of them up now. It's fine. It doesn't really matter anymore. The moment has passed.
The moment has passed. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
and the holiday was ruined. The dinner's ruined. We're all going to bed. Everyone's going to bed in a huff.
The chicken's dry, Marjorie. The chicken's dry.
Dinner's in the dog. I'm going to bed. Yeah, I got you. Right.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you go. Fantastic work. The
Beautiful,
person.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, unawared. Why are we...
I don't know.
Did they know that this was for like a gift giving?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. That makes it even worse.
And are they friends with the
Yeah.
Oh, my flipping word. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Yeah,
golf clap.
definitely. Golf clap all round.
Golf clap. The fucking cucumber sandwiches all round.
Yep.
Lovely.
Spectacular work.
Superb. Just,
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't. That's.
Or maybe you can.
You can. I think so, yeah.
I think you totally can.
Anyway,
so that's the thing.
Yeah, that's that. So, let's not dwell on that anymore.
No, let's dwell. Who is it?
No.
Name and shame. Name and shame.
Name and shame.
No, I'm not doing that.
Were they in Star Wars Episode 1?
Shut it.
Were they in The Mandalorian? Were they in Ahsoka? Were they in the booster series Super Ahsoka? No?
Super Ahsoka. Yeah. Were they in Ewok's Caravan of Courage?
Were they in Droids? Is it Captain Antilles?
Were they in?
Is it Walrus Man?
Was it Bumface?
Is it Bib Fortuna? Is it Reese?
Is it Zuckus?
I'm numb.
You're dumb.
Who you can easily cosplay using 2 tortilla taco chips and just lay them over your face. Taco wraps. Was it Admiral Akbar? Was it Hammerhead?
Oh dear.
Is it Guntar Schnugfluckle? I'm just making this shit up as I go along there.
There'll be a series of him soon, though.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be a fucking character in the next Star Wars series you watch.
Guntar Knuckle Shuffle.
Yep, that's right.
Guntar Knuckle Shuffle. The movie.
Him and his mate Porkins.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking H cross.
From Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Let me guess. You've got a slightly portly character, and you've called him Porkins.
Yep.
Yeah, well done. That's another golf clap. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yep, there we go. Cucumber sandwiches all round.
So, otherwise, how's your week, Elton?
Fine and dandy.
Fine and dandy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, fine. We shall move on then. Well, we'll move on to you, Mr. B. How's your week been?
Let's see now. A bit of a strange one this week.
Mm-hmm.
It seems when I kind of turned 54 back in September, I think it set off some kind of alarm in the NHS because I'm now being asked to go through cancer scans for every part of my body, it seems. I've received the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through one, which was a bowel cancer screening, which I passed. That was an easy test.
Which you passed.
It was.
Passed.
Yeah, well, that was multiple choice, that one, so that wasn't a problem. But yeah, so I've got another one come through now.
Oh, right.
So
is it just your lumpy demeanour that's making them think you've got lots of cancer cells in your body?
Yeah. I think it's that sallow sort of, fucking skin that I've got, So
nice.
So I've got other days where I got sort of knob enlargement emails through. We're going full on serious now. That's it.
You say full on serious. I mean, let's be honest. They're only doing it to tick boxes. You ain't got long left on this earth anyway. You old fart.
Oh, thanks. Cheers, man.
Well,
cheers. I've drunk so much Pepsi and fucking Coca-Cola. I think you'll find I'll be going for quite a while yet. You see,
you're definitely closer to the end than you are to the beginning.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, the inside may die, but the outside will stay the way it is. It will just continue on. It just won't rot.
Like fucking Mum-Ra.
Yeah, this is it. Yes, I am Mum-Ra, the ever-living.
Ancient spirits of evil turn this desiccated corpse into Daron.
Daron. That's me.
Nice.
Daron. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, Dara the ever-living.
Dara the ever-living. Yes.
The ever-lazy. No, Dara the ever-lazy. That's me. Yeah.
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Indeed. Indeed, you cannot.
No.
So let's see. What else have I done this week apart from more video games?
Mm-hmm.
More video games. I completed that what I told you about last week. Was it Ghostwire Tokyo?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, that was a fucking big game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thankfully, when I finally got tired of doing the open world thing, I thought, right, okay, come on, let's actually do the missions. Thankfully, the final boss was actually quite easy.
Yeah.
So I should just shoot my load into his face, and that was it. It was that was done. So
not the first time you played that game, then, no.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've shot my. No, anyway,
steady.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was all right. That was fine. I think it's currently free on Epic Games as well. If you do the if you go to the Epic site, they do sort of like free games every few weeks on there. So yeah, that's a freebie on there at the moment. So
nice.
There we go. And what else? What else have I done apart from watching a certain TV program?
Which we will get to in a minute.
We certainly will, because we overlap on this one, me and yourself.
We do.
I don't think there's really anything else.
Okay. That's okay. I mean, after all, Elton's just eating up like 90% of the time, just like he does,
You see, welcome.
Where Elton's concerned, it's a bit like Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know, when they go things like scenes from a hat, and they read out a little bit. And that's what Elton normally does. I'm finding he'll say like, I did this thing this week, and then we kind of go off on a bit of a tangent.
Well, I think after 150 odd episodes this season and nearly 200 episodes the previous season, I think everyone's figured that out.
Yes.
I don't think
there's a slight organic format to this, isn't there?
There
certainly is.
The only thing which is kind of even remotely kind of set in stone is as soon as you start telling us about your week, Elton, it seems to be the launching point for a 30-minute random randomized moment. It's just on what on earth are they talking about?
But it's like improv comedy. Go on in. Okay, so give us a location. All right. Yep. That's fine. Yes, yep. Give us a person. There we go. Yep. Give us an object. Okay. And give us a Star Wars film or episode from one of their TV series.
And we're off.
Go for it.
And we're off. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh. By the way, I meant to ask. By the way, Elton. David Renane sent in a question for Elton.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How much did your roof cost? Because shouldn't it be on the house?
Sorry.
Unless it's over his attic space, because then that's another story. Hey!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up while I was looking at it. There you go. Trying to get ahead of the game and do some feedback. Any comment?
Let's just leave that lingering in the air. Very expensive.
Okay, fair enough.
Too much that it should have fucking cost as well. For fuck's sake.
Okay, right, fine. Darren, move away slowly.
Okay.
Slowly. Cool. Don't make any eye contact.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't make eye contact.
Don't make eye contact and don't eat bacon.
Yes.
Smell it on you.
Don't move.
Be target acquired. I'm not a bacon sandwich.
Nice. Oh, God. Right. Anyway, anything else, sir, for your week, apart from the thing that overlaps with our week? Dal? Hello?
No, really.
He forgot whose week it was then, didn't he?
He did. He really did.
I did. I was away. I was away with the parents.
Maybe.
Is it my week? I don't know.
Is it my week? I don't know.
I
just turned up for the tea and biscuits.
Help me. I don't know. I'm very cold. Somebody turned the lights off and I'm all alone. Right. Okay, then.
You have to speak slowly for him.
Darren,
is at the end of your week.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Gen V, the spin-off from The Boys.
Yes.
Continuing to watch that, and that is just getting better and better each week. Yeah. Especially, was it 2 episodes ago? Somebody's body part exploded.
I can only imagine, based on the first episode, what that body part was.
Oh yeah. That was, and you actually see it as well. You actually see this certain, shall we say, male appendage enlarge itself before it goes bang.
A bird's eye peas, where the pod goes.
Jesus Christ! Yes, indeedy.
Oh my God! It's a very penile kind of episode this week.
There's lots of that goes on in the show. It's I think every episode there's been someone's got their willy out. You know, it's just.
I was talking about the podcast, but you go with Gen V if you like, mate.
Indeed.
Yeah. Cool.
So yes, there you go. So yeah, it's free on Amazon. Every new episode every Friday, and it is really nicely sort of like trundling along there.
Sorted. Nice. I watched the first episode, then I went to watch the second, and then I ended up watching the thing which we were about to talk about.
Indeed.
So I didn't bother.
No problem.
But I will get back to it. But if that's done for you, I'll move on to my week. I ain't got a lot really to add. The reason I was off last week was because I had to go to some meeting in Oxford for work.
Right.
And, which in and of itself was fine and interesting from a work perspective. But I won't bore you with that. What I will say though is this as ongoing thing. There's been a little theme that kind of comes up every now and again here on the cast, which is kind of like little things that grind your gears. And when I went up to Oxford, I paid 25 quid for a ticket, which was a return ticket. Yeah.
Yep.
I went up there. We were supposed to have this big debrief for a big project, and then we were all going to go out for a drink afterwards. As it turned out, for reasons which are too boring and long-winded to go into, we didn't go for the drink. So I said, right, fine. You know what? Thank you, everyone. Been to this debrief. Very interesting. Great to meet you all. I'm going home on time. So my return ticket, my £25 return ticket said, you are going home at 4:30 and no more, no less, 4:30. Thank you very much. So I'm like, right, fine, I'll catch the train at 4:30. I walked back to the Oxford train station at 3 o'clock. Now, Oxford isn't a particularly big train station. There is a WH Smith's and a Marks and Spencer's and the platforms, and that's it. So I'm like, right, you know what? I'm an hour early. If a train turns up, I'm just going to rearrange my times and I'm just going to get on a different train. I went to do that, and they wanted to charge me. Now, bearing in mind, how much did I say the ticket was? 25 quid?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They wanted to charge me for a single direction alteration of 1 hour, £51.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, fuck that, no. And then someone said to me in the queue, they went, well, if you want, you can go and just buy a single ticket. Just buy a completely separate single ticket. It's cheaper. So I went, right, fine. So I went to the machine. I went to type in single ticket from Oxford back to London. Bearing in mind, I'm now going against the grain because the commuters are all coming out.
Mm.
So I'm going the opposite direction anyway. So it's an empty train, not necessarily lots of money needed because everything's going the other way. So I looked up single ticket. How much do you think a single ticket is?
85 quid.
No, not quite. Not far off. It was actually £45.
45.
So I got a £25 return ticket as long as I set my times. But if I decide to just take a single, I have to pay 45 quid. And if I want to change the times, it's going to cost me 51.
Do you know what? We've had the same kind of thing happen to us this week. We're going to be going away to Bath in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get from my local station to Bath, right? Now, if I go directly from my station and go to Bath, the return costs something like 125 quid, right?
Where the fuck are you coming from? Narnia?
No, this is two of us, right? Okay, so there's 2 tickets, right? Okay, together, right? So the whole thing costs about 125 quid.
Oh, right.
Because I decided to go back one station and then go forward, right? How much do you think it's cost me?
200?
2 tickets. No, this is 2 returns, right? Two returns going from my station, right, going towards Reading and then on towards Bath was about 135 quid, right?
Right.
Now, if I go back one station and then come back through my station to go on to Reading and then Bath, how much do you think the ticket has cost me?
Should, in theory, cost less.
Cost me 85. No, it should cost me more because I'm going back a station. I'm adding an extra station to the journey, right?
Right.
Cost me 85 quid. How the fuck does that work? It's gone from around about 135 to about 85 quid. How does that work? This is bullshit. They need to stop this. Fucking stop privatising the bastard railways. Just get it all back under the fucking government again and stop all this bollocks. Chairman
Barnard's out. Go on.
Well, they're supposed to be doing this thing of getting rid of return tickets, right? It's going to be all single tickets, which is either going to be a fucking disaster or it's going to work out really well. I'm erring towards the fucking disaster.
Of course it is. And then they'll do that usual thing of surprised Pikachu face because, hey, guess what? We didn't realise that by making the prices too expensive, nobody wants to go on the fucking things anymore.
Exactly. Well,
and they'll be like, why is nobody using a really expensive system? Oh,
I know. We could try loot crates.
Yeah, maybe if we charge them per carriage, charge them per seat, per minute.
You know, there's even talk of getting rid of daily, travel cards.
Yeah.
From
that's
Central
already
London.
that's already on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as that doesn't affect a weekly ticket, then I'm fine. Because if they do that, I take that away. I can't afford to come into work.
Well, that is going to affect a weekly ticket, isn't it? Because the fact is, a travel card is a weekly ticket.
No, but that's a season ticket. If it's over more than one, if it's over one, I mean, it's not actually got a travel card on it, right?
Welcome to Old Man Complaints About Travel Cards.
Yeah, if it's over more than the period of one day, it's a season ticket. That's it. So I've got the weekly thing as a season ticket. That's what it counts as. But yeah, and it's not in I don't actually have a season, an actual travel card on that ticket. It's just a return direct,
Mm.
From my station to Waterloo.
Well, you know it's coming. It's coming. It's the same as, have you heard about Netflix? This is just another thing, just pushing it up ahead while we're all on sort of standing on the old fucking shake your fist at corporation thing.
Yeah.
Today, right? Netflix is doing that whole password sharing crackdown thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So basically, if you share a password with a friend or someone who's away from your location or IP address, then what it does now is it says, I'm not going to let you look at this until you enter a passcode. Yeah. So for example, Katie down in Canterbury has to then send me an email saying, can you give me the passcode so I can watch Netflix? And you give her the password for Netflix and she can use it for a week. And then after that, I have to log in within a week on Netflix to deauthorize her account. And it has to go backwards and forwards to stop password sharing. Anyway.
But it hasn't stopped password sharing, has it?
No, it hasn't.
That's it. So what is the fucking point?
Well, hang on. Some people have actually started buying the, not geolocated upgrade. Basically, if you push your price up to £14 a month instead of £7 a month, it's now, you can use it wherever. You can share it with up to 4 devices and all this kind of thing. So Netflix recently just said, as in today, put an email out, a text out to the newspapers saying, thanks to the success of password sharing crackdown, we're now going to put up the prices. So what they've done is they've cracked down on password sharing, kicked everyone off, pushed the prices up to stop the password sharing, and now the password sharing's now that you have to pay for password sharing, they're now going, right, and now we're going to push the prices up. So it could possibly cost like £16, £17 a month, whereas it started off at £7. It could go even higher, but this is all coming.
Kidding.
Yeah. So basically, I hope you like watching Netflix because you're going to have to get all your watching in before that happens. Because, frankly, ain't worth the money. And now Disney's bringing in the password sharing thing as well.
Oh, they're doing that as well because Disney hasn't got enough money as it is.
Well, no, but
they've done it because I've seen
it works with Netflix.
We need it because we haven't got because we've been affected by what the pandemic where everybody sat at home and fucking watched your service. Is that what you got affected by? Is it? Yeah. All right. Okay. So them giving you money, like, many people getting a subscription because of the fucking pandemic, that really damaged your business model. Let's talk about business models, shall we? Okay. Let's talk about business models. Let's think back to when Netflix first fucking started, right? And they based it fucking whole business model around password sharing.
Mm-hmm.
They actively encouraged you to password share.
How dare you do the thing that we allowed you to do? How dare you?
Motherfuckers.
Just...
It's like Lego as well. Didn't they put out a thing that they want to buy back people's Lego in their loft? Because I think everyone stopped buying it because it's far too expensive.
Yeah. So they're going to buy it back and then they're going to
resell it to you.
Resell it to you.
What the seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... I mean, we're pretty much getting to the point where, in the case of Lego, they're putting, they probably put trackers on each brick and charge you for rental. I mean, it's getting fucking stupid.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's no more crazy than the subscriptions for new cars. I mean, you seen what BMW did recently?
Oh yes, I've
putting
heard
subscriptions on fucking seat warmers. So you have the seat warmer as an optional extra. As soon as you get it, it won't actually unlock unless you subscribe.
You what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So you
I
buy
hate this world so much.
So you buy an optional extra in your car, and then the car actually won't let you use it until you pay for a subscription.
Because can't they lock up certain parts of your car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So wrap your car in tinfoil and it won't work because it won't be able to talk back to BMW HQ. So the car will fucking stop.
Christ, it's almost like.
Mm.
I mean, this is fucking crazy.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not being funny or anything, but it's almost like, we're in an episode of the fucking Twilight Zone.
No,
Picture
we're in a
men
Black
and a
Mirror
podcast.
episode, definitely.
Yeah, we're in Black Mirror. That's it.
Are we?
Yes.
Are we? Are you sure that the next subscription's not going straight to the Twilight Zone?
Yeah. Well, if you want to carry on listening to the Black Dog podcast, you'll have to pay £1.50 in penny coins.
No. If you're listening to this in a car, get a £1 coin and put it into the CD player.
Yes, it will come to us directly. It will.
Yeah, it'll come to us. And then you'll be able to listen to the next 10 minutes
of jollity. You'll never guess what joke we're about to say, what random shit. Oh, if you only could listen to this. And I tell you what, it's funny because I listen to a podcast and they've now done a thing where to take all the ads off the fucking podcast, you actually have to buy an extra little subscription through Apple.
I'll tell you about podcasts. The best place to host a podcast is Squarespace as well.
Yes.
Is it? What about Squarespace, Elton? Would you like to? Why do you say this, Elton? Is there, do you have any information about Squarespace that our listeners should know about?
I do have a little bit. Let me just get comfy on my Emma mattress. Hang on a second.
Okay.
When I'm talking to Elton, sometimes I demand the highest of security, and that's why NordVPN is the fucking place for me.
When I'm browsing for risque pornography, I like to use NordVPN to block all them things just in case I get caught.
Do you know what? When on the weekends when I go dogging, I like to have a battery that lasts a long time in my torch.
Yeah,
so that's why I use Duracell, the one with the copper-coloured top.
And while Darren's watching the dogging, he likes to relax with a smooth, velvety Tasmo.
Yes, I do. And also, when I'm streaming said dogging, I like my signal to be uninterrupted, which is why I use Virgin Media.
Yeah.
It's as smooth as the. No,
while I'm waiting for my turn during the dogging, and I'm sitting there waiting for the sloppy seconds, I like to read The Economist. We'll get him. I knew we'd get him eventually, Dal. We tried hard. We tried hard.
We did. Yes, we did.
While I'm viewing Darren's stream on Twitch. I like to use Surfshark.
When I'm coming to climax during said dogging, I like to have a tissue that's really strong and as many sort of as many got many plies to it, whatever the fuck that is. That's why I use plenty because that's what it can hold.
Well, sometimes after a long evening buggering away in a lay-by, I sometimes find that I am absolutely famished and I don't have time to make dinner. So that's why I use Box Fresh. Box Fresh gives you all the meals that you need straight to your door in a convenient and handy pack. So when you're still trying to wipe down your knob from knob rot, you can keep a nice, well-balanced meal delivered to your door by Box Fresh. Get your quinoa on now.
Do you know what, right? Okay. When you're going dogging, if you're like me and you really have not got the patience to read a map, you really want something to show you the way automatically. That's why I use Google Maps. Because let's just face it, when you're in lust, you don't want to get lost.
Oh my God.
Writing them down.
He's actually doing them real.
I'm doing them real, yeah.
When I go dogging, I like to be smooth like a dolphin. That's why
That's why I use Swarfiga.
Yeah. Frankie's razors. Was it Frank's razors? That's the one, isn't it?
That's why I like to manscape.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what? When I come home from an evening of dogging, I like to go for a big old dump. But then there's sometimes when, well, I'm backed up good and proper.
That's because I've been out buggering reading The Economist earlier on.
So that's why I use X-Lax. I mean, why have the bottom fall out of your world when you can have the world fall out of your bottom?
Nice. Well, that should pay at least 3.5 to all of us.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's it.
We're all done.
He's just rolling.
Yeah, that's it. Just
those advertising fees. What?
Oh. Who said they were?
Let's just put our feet up on the desks and
that's it.
Wait for that. Then roto checks to roll in, man.
That's it.
Just remember, folks, if you're downloading this podcast at home but you're listening to it on a train, we'll find out and we'll block you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll block you. Yeah.
We'll stop your train.
Yeah.
We will.
We will. We will. You think we won't, but we will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. The rest of my week.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh God. You can tell when Jim's not around, can't you? You just
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the sensible bit goes out the window.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, my rest of my week. What else? I had a little accident just to follow up on all the other genital discussions we've had for the last 50 odd minutes.
I like to use tenor pads.
Yeah, I fucking wish I did. I really did.
Hyperabsorbent.
Hyperabsorbent.
Is that the one with wings? No.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, not
Is
involved
it the one
in
with
that
cool...
Paul McCartney's group? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, those are Linda McCartney sausages.
Man's
the one with
got the
sawdust?
runs. Man's got the runs.
Yeah, no, so I nearly ended up in hospital
What?
on Saturday. Yeah, because I was around mum's and I was watching telly. And she made me a hot cup of tea, and it's lovely.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
And I picked up the cup and I put it on my lap, and then I thought, well, actually, whatever it was on telly wasn't interesting me, so I went to reach for my phone that was on the table in front of me, the coffee table in front of me, and then as I leant back, I forgot that the sofas go back a little bit further at Mum's house. And so, when you kind of flop and you're expecting the back to be there, but it's not. So I just sort of went back a little bit further. And
We're talking about dogging again.
Yes, exactly. And as I leant back, I've kind of tipped the balance on the cup, and the cup poured literally scalding hot water straight into my lap. Yeah. The worst bit was, it wasn't so much that it was boiling my nuts, but the fact was that it landed so squarely on the shall we say, the man's area, that it basically acted that the distance between my thighs and other elements of my body acted like capillary action. So my entire lower half literally turned into a ball of fire. And
that's great.
Yeah, so I jumped up in the air and I sort of went, ah! And I made this kind of squeaky sort of noise. We much love driving man. I spilled the tea all over me. Goodness gracious, my balls are fire. Yeah, and yeah, and and it absolutely scalded me, and I jumped up. Now this tells you how used to this sort of shit that my
this
my
is
family
when you
is.
remembered the ceiling fan was on. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah!
Oh! Fuck. Yeah. No, I jumped up. I was like making this kind of weird keening noise, and I put the teacup on the table, and I'm sort of screeching, and Elisa just carried on watching Strictly that was on telly, and Mum just looked at me and she went, "What have you done?" I'm like, sort of thing. And she went, I hope you haven't got tea on the sofa. It's like, woman, my testicles, my arse, and pretty much my entire lower half is completely covered in boiling water. Maybe a little bit of sympathy. And it was just like, oh, just mop it down. It'd be fine. Like, mop it down. It'd be fine. Literally.
So, let me get this. Was it really bad? I mean, I should imagine that you to repair the damage, you'd have to have some skin grafts. I mean, but how many skin grafts would you need? So let's find out. So let's see, 1 skin.
Oh no!
2 skin, 3 skin, 4.
And
well,
that's enough from that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for the input. Well, I'm glad I'm still getting sympathy for that. Then
that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So I had some, shall we say, burnsy redness for a couple of days. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that brought some tears to my eyes.
Smother that in Sudocrem. There we go. Just stay away from that area.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So there you go.
Can I ask, when you went to examine your sack, right? After the actual accident, did it look a bit like that transformation sequence from the American Werewolf in London? Air sacs.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like a dance party from the fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Hey, and I think that's a segue. There you go.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Oh, Jesus, no. Oh, man.
Which leads us nicely to the last thing of my week.
Indeed.
which was that I watched on Netflix, on the now soon to be very expensive and soon to be very kicked out of my fucking house Netflix.
Yep.
All 8 episodes of The Fall of the House of Usher. Which I thought was excellent.
Same here. Absolutely superb.
Yeah. Just so you know, Elton, it's basically all of Edgar Allan Poe's different stories, but what they've done is they've put a sort of a bracketing device around it, which is The Fall of the House of Usher. So you got this one guy who's like this millionaire, billionaire, pharmaceutical sort of head of the company, and he and his twin sister have basically taken over this pharmaceutical company, and it makes this horrible product, but they've never ever been charged for it. They've never ever been caught. And then one night, one dark and stormy night, the guy basically asks the lawyer or the DEA who's been chasing after him for the last 50 years he asked that guy to come over and listen to his confessional about how and he says this right up front, so this is not a spoiler, about how his children died, the other members of his family. And he says, and I'm also going to confess to everything that's happened, and I'm going to give away everything that I've done, and I'm going to give you all of the answers, all on a plate, and I'm just going to spill it out to you. And so what you get is him talking to this DEA guy, and then each episode goes to one of the Usher family and what happened to them.
Yeah.
Step by step. And yeah, it's a really it's not what I call scary.
No,
but it's got some disturbing moments, but it's compelling. It's like Has anyone watched Succession?
No.
Okay. Yes. Imagine Succession, but every episode, one of the family gets bumped off.
Right, okay.
In a kind of, shall we say, an Omen, Final Destination style way.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's made to look like an accident, and it's made to look like something to do with their hubris. However, there is one thing connecting them all the way through. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. But each episode, and this is why I was kind of hoping Jim would be here today, but each episode is actually based upon a story by Edgar Allan Poe. So there's The Mask of the Red Death, there's the The Raven, the Black
Telltale Heart,
Telltale Heart. Yep.
Which is a particularly, I thought that was a very clever episode.
Can you hear that?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. And then there's also Murders at the Rue Morgue.
Yeah, Gold Bug.
And
that one.
Yeah, and The Pit and the Pendulum.
Oh yeah. That was a very satisfying episode for me.
That was.
Yeah.
And so there's tons and tons of references to the stories, and there's tons and tons of references to other work by Poe, and it's all tied together in this one big kind of overarching story of this guy basically confessing all of his sins for the past 50 odd years to this DEA. And it's really compelling stuff. And also it's kind of satisfying to watch some really horrible people get their fucking comeuppance.
Okay.
Indeed.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. But you will wince.
Oh,
some of it.
good Lord, will you?
You will fucking wince. Oh,
yeah. Oof. It's definitely got an oof moment.
Oh, yeah. I think every episode you sit there and you suddenly have that moment of realization that you can see where this is going, and that's not a bad thing at all.
No,
it's that. Oh no, that was my sort of. Oh no.
Oh,
every single one. Oh no.
Yeah, I think. I don't want to say anything. I just. Yeah, there's some really interesting twists and turns to get to the, as Darren says, the oh god no moment.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find it clever more than scary.
It's very well done.
It's really well done. But it's done by the guy who did... Have you seen Midnight Mass?
Don't think I have, no.
Actually, didn't we do one of his films?
But he also did the series The Haunting of Hill House. There was The Haunting of Blethley Manor, I think
Bly Manor.
Wasn't it the Hill House out last year? That was the big one last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, or the year before. Yeah, it was over COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's the guy who makes these series uses the same technique that they use for American Horror Story, where each series he'll take a core set of cast members.
Oh, it was Mike Flanagan. He did Dr. Sleep and Hush.
Indeed.
You remember Hush, the one where the woman's death and the guy's hunting them around the house?
I've not actually watched that one myself.
You must have done. You were on the podcast doing it, reviewing it.
Oh, fuck yes. Sorry. Yes. Some of these movies just blur into one.
Suddenly I'm suspecting that maybe you don't do your homework there. No,
I did.
Hang on, I'm forgetting this one. Is this the
Hush? The one where the lady is
three of them.
Yeah, there's no. She's deaf, and she's deaf, and then and she's in a house on her own.
Ah, yes.
And there's the guy wandering around with the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, that creepy ass mask.
Yep. Yeah. And Dr. Sleep is the one which was the sequel to The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
With what's his face? Ewan McGregor. Yeah. And Rebecca Ferguson with her top hat. Yeah. So Mike Flanagan. So he does, and he apparently did one called Oculus that was very good, and he also did the adaptation of Gerald's Game as well. But anyway,
all the stuff he's done for Netflix has that thing where he's taken 6 or 7 of the core members of the cast, and he's used them in every single thing, but they've all been different characters in each, production.
But it's really good. Go on, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, it's just there's some. I mean, there are some top-notch performers in there, and you will recognise certain individuals as well. Even if I can't name them, I can't give you that. I just I've seen you in lots of other things before as well.
Well, there was one who turned up in fucking E.T.
Yes. Well, there's was it Elliot?
Elliot.
It's Elliot from ET is in of those
Henry
all
Thomas.
the Netflix
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
Henry Thomas. Yeah,
he's in this one as well.
He's
He's
in this.
part of the cast there.
Yeah. Froderick.
Indeed.
he plays such an asshole who's such a wuss, and then he just goes the complete other way, and you're like, oh, like, I can't wait for you to get your fucking comeuppance.
Indeed.
But anyway, yes. So Go on, Dal. Sorry, I keep saying these things. Keep jumping in.
Gina Carano. It is. No,
Carla
Carla
Gugino.
Yeah, who does not seem. She's either aging slowly or she does not seem to age, because she looks the same in everything I've ever seen her in, and I think I've watched her for. She's been in acting for the last at least 20 years, and she's never changed in all that time. So there is a picture in an attic somewhere.
That's what I was going to say. There's a picture in an attic.
Oh, which would be quite almost appropriate. Or either that, or she's a vampire. One of the two. But yeah.
Well, there was also the lady Katie Siegel, who played the deaf character in Hush. She's also in this as well as
Indeed.
as the news mogul. Because that's the other thing in Fall of the House of Usher, every single one of the family is some kind of mogul of some kind. So one's like an advanced heart scientist. One of them's like a video game developer. One of them is like going to be the head of the company in the future. Another one owns like media companies and ruins people's lives all the time. And none of them ever get arrested for anything they do. No matter how awful and the ideas, and no matter how awful they are as people. And so that's all tied into the whole thing. You know, how come they always get away with it? How come this family doesn't? Nothing happens to this family no matter what. And that's kind of the interesting mystery of it. I really would recommend seeing it. I really would.
Just go do it.
Just go do it. I sat down because after the whole Oxford thing, I had a bit of a sort of a day off. Because I was just exhausted. That's why we weren't recording the Tuesday, because I had the Tuesday, Oxford, and then a day off. And I sat down at like 10 o'clock in the morning to watch I'll just watch one episode. And by about 6:45, I was like, I've finished this. I've done it. And, it's episodic. So there's episodes which are not as good as other episodes, but I would definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it. And it's on Netflix.
Start that tomorrow.
If you got some time to do it, yeah, definitely. There's some definitely creepy moments, but I don't know how it'll rate. I don't know how it'll rate on your potato scale, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, I don't know whether we would take a bet on that, on where it appears on the potato scale, but we'll see how it goes. But no, I'd be interested to see what you think of it, actually. Okay. So that's my week, he says, eventually reaching the end of his week. I mean, I think that's been it. We've still got some feedback to do. Let's do the feedback. The film we watched last time we all convened was No One Will Save You. Now, he says, looking back, first thing I was going to say was last time I did actually mention the fact that Pete Organ nearly run me over, as I found out. I found out that, he just he was going to run me over, but somehow didn't, and he confessed it to someone else, who then confessed it to me. So now I know I'm being hunted by a vicar. So there you go, a reverend. Sorry, that makes him he's going to get me next time. So he wrote in on the Facebook group to say, similar to Lee, I got to the end of the film and felt a little shortchanged. This is No One Will Save You. I like the movie where the ending has more than one interpretation, brackets. Inception is a classic example. But this movie didn't seem to explain them quite enough for my liking, leaving it feeling a tad undercooked plot-wise. I guess the ambiguity works fine for others, but I needed a little bit more meat on the bone. Ooh, misses. Oh, and remember, Lee, I only need to be lucky once. You have to be lucky always. That's a nice threatening letter from the man of the cloth. Thanks very much for that. I'm going to be looking over my shoulder forever. I'm terrified. I did a picture for the Enterprise for you that's in your bloody hallway. Spare me. Spare me. Anyway, so, and then we also got a message from Odile Thomas. And she wrote, "Love the film. Thank you, Lee, for picking it. When Jim asked what point could we be watching and what was just in her head rather than reality, it got me thinking. Maybe she never pulled out the alien controlling beastie out of her throat. Maybe she just wanted to. Maybe they just wanted her to think she did. And then I remembered on the first morning there was already an alien grass ring thingy in her garden, and it did not seem to be like it was the first time. Maybe the whole film was in her head. Hence no talking. I'll leave this with you, but I'll go and get some tinfoil paper." Thanks for that, Odile. I mean, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
The burn circles, the teleporting circles, were in her garden from the start.
She tried to water it, didn't she?
Yeah. So maybe the whole thing was in her head. Maybe the whole thing was an ambiguous thing going on in her head, and she was just living in denial.
I might maybe shoot myself in the foot on this. And I'm sure we've said it many, many times before. But not every film could be set in their head. Otherwise, that means every film is set in their head.
Yeah, that's true.
And it, because it's done so many times, it kind of ruins that. Oh, I wonder this, and it's now lost it now, hasn't it? It's lost that power.
Well, it loses stakes. That's the problem with setting things in people's heads. If everything's in your head, then nothing matters, apart from your own sanity. And if your own sanity is all that's at stake, and we already know you're damaged goods, then we already know you're insane. Then again, it stops mattering. If you know what I mean. Yeah, no,
it's fun to work it out, but not every single movie has to be like that.
I agree. I do know what she's getting at, because we also had another feedback from Anne-Marie Organ, Pete's wife, who said she was trying to put spoilers tags in, and then she says, "This might not be what Elton was trying to say, but I think the fact that the thistle came out of a grey like a furball and went into Bryn is a sign that the greys are actually pawns as much as the humans, and the thistles are the real parasitic intelligence enemy." Which is, and which led Jeffrey Mark Hyman to agree the same thing, that he was glad he was not the only one pondering that. While Justin Pearson Smith rather helpfully said Dark Skies did it better. Thanks for that. And finally, thank you, Anne-Marie. By the way, Anne-Marie and Pete do a podcast called The Broadcast, which you can find, which does Star Trek, and is currently also doing Ulysses 31 rewatches, and you can find that over at broadcast.libsyn.com. Also, we got one piece of email come through to feedback@Black Dog Podcast, because you can still do that, because, you know, email exists. And it came from Pete Collins. And Pete Collins wrote to say, "Hello, Black Dog. I just wanted to give feedback on No One Will Save You. This film was on my radar as I heard good things about it. Sadly, it didn't really work for me. Firstly, I just didn't care about Bryn. She clearly lives in the clouds and had done something wrong and wasn't dealing with it properly. Something just felt off with her from the start. Then the creatures show up and they're not even threatening. But for some reason, Bryn is terrified of them. Too terrified to even try and communicate with them. They don't even look that tough. It even sounds like one says hello at the first time it sees her up close, but she clobbers it anyway. And at this point, I don't really care for her fate, and I don't mind if the aliens get her. She's killed one, and now she's doing a runner. As the movie goes on, the aliens become more sinister with their human possession and are clearly out to get her, but I still don't care about her fate. This continues all the way through to the end, and I don't care for Bryn. Clearly, these aliens are a bunch of wankers, but no one, the ones she fights and kills come off like children. So it's like she's killing a bunch of angry kids who are mad at her for killing their sibling. Then Mummy Alien carts her off to be judged, and they decide to leave her in La La Land. I would think that this was a well-made horror if I actually give a shit or cared about Bryn. Sorry, he didn't say give a shit. I just paraphrased there. If I actually cared about Bryn, and the aliens didn't feel like shitty kids picking on the beaten-up broken puppy. There's some good horror scenes, and it's well shot, but I just don't care. It's a shame. It had potential, but it really didn't stick the beginning or the middle or the end. That's all for now. Looking forward to the next film in the interterminate weeks of horror, Pete Collins. No relation to the people in the film. Thank you very much for that, Pete. No relation. I think if he sends in another email, we're going to call him Pete No Relation. That's it. It's named. We've gone off the boil of naming our feedbackers. So I'm bringing it back. Pete No Relation. There you go. So.
Or Pete Orphan.
Pete Orphan. Oh,
no relation.
No relation. Oh, nice. Nice. There you go. Yeah. Orphan Pete. It's a bit like it's a bit like Orphan Black, but it's Orphan Pete.
Orphan Pete. Yeah, Orphan Black from wish.com. There we go.
Yeah. So there you go. We also had a number of people randomly putting in the words cod in batter sauce on feedback on the Facebook group. Well done, those people. If you said cod in batter sauce, thank you. More messages are incoming. I'm saying nothing more. I'm not explaining it to anyone. Anyone trying to listen is not going to find out until the time is right. But yes, as ever, you can send in feedback to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or you can get on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. And now it is time for us to take a break and go to the ads, where we will sell you NordVPN, lube, and box fresh cucumbers in a box. so you can look at porn with your cucumbers on with lube. I don't know.
Let's go to
Just leave it there. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll review The Babysitter. Okay, roll the jingle. Right. So, oh God, I've done it again, haven't I? You know what we haven't done?
What's that?
Ladies.
We haven't done the ladies.
Oh.
Call in the ladies. Woo! The naughty ladies.
Naughty ladies.
Naughty ladies. I've got to turn them down. They're too fucking loud. Ladies, hello. Dance. Dance for me, ladies.
Naughty
ladies. There you go. Everyone.
Naughty ladies.
Ooh, I'm going to turn it down now. Right
Spinning
down.
on her head.
Ooh. Right, there you go. They've gone away. So, now we've got the format sorted, and I fucked that up and all. God, one day, this horror section, I know it's been 14 years, you'd think we'd get it right by now, but one day, just one day, it'll work. It'll all work in one. We'll get 4 weeks out, we'll get the jingles all working, everything will go.
This is the most important year as well, where it actually ends on Halloween.
Yeah, be the first time in 14 years that it's actually ends on us recording on Halloween. So, yeah. So I fucked it up. So we got to wait another 10 years before it happens again. Have a nice day. Have fun. Anyway, so let's go back to the format. Or Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Here we go. So, The Babysitter is a 2017 American teen black comedy slasher movie directed by McGee. Because McGee, you have to
never
say
trust
like
a man that says like a McDonald's meal.
Yeah, never trust a man who's named after a Happy Meal. And written by Brian Duffield. Now, Brian Duffield might sound familiar because he wrote and directed No One Will Save You, which we reviewed last time.
Oh.
Yeah. It stars Samara Weaving, Judah Lewis, Hannah May Lee, Robert Amell, and Bella Thorne. And the film follows a lonely 12-year-old boy, played by Lewis, who discovers that his babysitter, Samara Weaving, is part of a satanic cult that wants to kill him. The film was released on Netflix on October 13th, 2017. In fact, that was, almost 5 years ago to the day. So there you go. No, 6 years ago. God, my maths is up the wazoo. Right. So it's 6 years ago to the day that I learned how maths works. And it received mostly positive reviews and actually spawned a sequel, Babysitter Killer Queen. The film had a box office of, we don't know, and a budget of, we don't know. Hold on. No, I did have a box office, but we don't know the budget. We have no idea how much it cost to make. So anybody want to take a guess? Here we go. We can double it down. Now that Jim's not here, we got a little bit of extra time to guess. How much do you reckon it cost to make, and how much do you think it made? Go, Elton, go.
I reckon it made a complete set of silicone implants.
Mm-hmm.
It made one silicone implant and one deflated one.
Yes. Do you know how much this cost? Cool. Darren, how much do you think it cost, and how much do you think it made?
I think it cost 3 blows to the head with a claw hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And it made. Let's think about that for a minute, shall we? He says, trying to scrabble to remember anything about the film. Okay, it made 1 tree house and 3 shirtless blokes.
Yes.
Why is he shirtless?
Why is he shirtless? Well, actually, you're all wrong. It cost one firework to make, and one suspended ceiling to or maybe one of those crystal trophies, or maybe some swimming pool slow-mo shots. That's what it cost. So there you go. I can't say any more. At some point, I'm going to get cancelled if I carry on talking like this.
So you haven't been.
Yeah. Hello? Is this on? Hello? Anyway, so yes. So before we get into spoilers, I don't know if this is going to be an entirely super long review, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. Without spoilers.
Not. I'm going to spoil this. It's probably not going to be. No.
Yeah. So just quickly, round the table, what did you think of The Babysitter, Elton?
I hated it.
Yeah?
I thought it was terrible. I'm really sorry, but I thought this was god awful. Hated every single frame of this.
Yeah?
Yeah, it can die in a fire. I fucking hated it.
Right. Cool. Darren, no, it's your pick, wasn't it? So it's, I go next. God, the formats have gone out the window. I don't even know why we're bothering anymore. So yeah, for me, I found it fairly generic with dashes of random stuff in it that made me go, oh yeah, yeah. But I felt like a better director would have made a better job of it. There's bits of it I sit there going, like, you know, little bits, like little flash ups of title cards and random bits like that, which made me laugh. And little action sequences made me laugh. But overall, I just kind of came away going, yeah, and it kind of evaporated out of my head faster than what I'd eaten for dinner that night. It was just like, kind of was there. I kind of watched it. It kind of happened. And I kind of moved on. Really? Darren, what did you think of it?
Well, I enjoyed it a lot the first time I saw it. This is the second time. But I've got to say, I think I noticed some stuff about it I wasn't quite comfortable with this time around. And so, whereas... yeah, I don't think I enjoyed it as much on a second viewing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And Jim, what did you think? Right. Okay. Thanks, Jim.
No Robo Jim.
No, I don't have a Robo Jim. I didn't have time to make Robo Jim.
Oh.
The problem is with anything to do with Jim. You see, as soon as I try and make something out, make an effigy of Jim digitally, it mysteriously gets up and walks off. That's the way it disappears. So no. Anyway, I don't know what Jim thought, but I'm sure we'll find out next week. But if he can remember it, because to be quite honest, that's part of my problem. I can barely remember any of it.
I can barely remember it because I watched it last week, and there was no way I was going to waste another hour and a half watching this again. No way. Some movies I'm quite happy to do that. When we have like an elongated absence, and I've got no problems with that. But this time around, it was just no. What I saw is what you're gonna get, and what I can remember, because it's not worth it. It's really, it's not up there for the movies I ever want to watch ever again. It's not scary. I kind of found it a bit insulting, really. It's just fucking generic beyond belief.
Yeah,
I think that was my major problem with it.
Yeah. Shall we go to the spoiler zone, shall we? Just so we can have the conversation. So, yes, if you haven't seen the this show, this film, then by all means, just be aware that we're going to be talking spoilers going forward. And yes, if you don't want it spoiled, switch off, watch it now, and then come back. But otherwise,
put your helmet on. We'll be reaching speeds of 3.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're off. We're off to the races. It's spoiler zone time.
Baby.
Yeah, there you go. If you can't, there's no way you could not notice that. I've just put all the volumes.
I still think that's Jim singing.
You still think that's Jim?
It sounds too close to Jim. I know it's supposed to be Paul McShane, but
yeah.
If you said to me that we were joking, that is actually Jim.
Yeah.
Sugars. Jim, 3 sugars in his tea moon.
Yeah. Jim, 3 sugars in his tea moon. Off to the races.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to the spoilers. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with it. Really. I mean, Darren.
Okay,
Darren, you go for it first.
Okay, I'll talk about the bits that kind of concerned me. Now, recently, this is kind of relevant to what we're seeing on there. There's been there have been a few, shall we say, scandals concerning 1 or 2 YouTubers. And I'm talking about inappropriate relationships and stuff like this that have made it big. It's so big they actually made it to national American news.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. It's all about a woman by the name of Colleen Ballinger. You can look that up and see the whole entire sorry saga with that. Who was basically she was conducting inappropriate conversations with sort of like kids of around about 14, 15. She was in her 30s when she was doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is where I learned about things like power dynamics. Okay, in relationships and stuff. And after going back to this film, after seeing stuff like this and, following this sort of scandal, I don't know. There were things in this film that kind of made me think of that's been going on. And it's the sort of how those two, how the kid himself and the babysitter kind of play off one another in certain scenes. And I don't know. I just got a bit uncomfortable watching it. If I've got to be honest. It just seemed like the way that these shots are framed, the way that the actual feel of the relationship between these two is, it's a little bit inappropriate. It's, I don't know. There's just stuff you see in it, like the bit with the swimming pool, with her in the bikini and stuff like this, and messing around in the water, and it's the look that's exchanged between the two of them in certain scenes as well. It's a little bit, I don't know.
The problem with that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is something maybe we should address. Yeah. Firstly, obviously, it's not the only issue. You just have to look up. You just have to look up McG. He's got his own set of shit going on. To be honest,
Indeed.
So look at what's been going on with him recently. But the problem is that this sort of thing, if you're going to get into that conversation about power dynamics and all that sort of thing, is the film itself takes a view of like it takes the view of the boy kind of going for. So the problem you have is you might feel a bit, you might feel, oh God,
it's not just his character though.
No, I know it's not just his character. She's playing up to it, but she's the evil character, so that's part of it, I guess. But the problem is, it's not taking the angle of, you know, is she abusing him? It's more of the case of he's ogling her, and look, he's getting his comeuppance.
Yeah.
So
but,
go on.
No, I don't know. There's ways to play this that you could play it to really convincingly put that across as, this is a totally platonic thing. You know, they have fun doing stupid shit together, but it's just, I don't know. It's just the way she looks at him. There's pregnant pauses there as well that are just a little bit, this just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It really didn't. I mean, I've seen this sort of thing done before and it's been perfectly innocent. You know, that's it. It's that, there's that level of respect between the two characters. But
okay.
This, I don't know.
Well, I mean, okay, so just getting away from that for a second, what did you think of the actual film? Because I mean,
think of the actual film, when it got past that part and it started getting into the we're evil, we're going to sacrifice you to this, that, and the other. I thought it was all right this time around. Right. You know, I didn't think it was as clever as I thought it was originally. It didn't have that ring about it. Because to me, I watched it first and I thought, hey, that was pretty cool. Some of the stuff that happened in it. But now going back to it, I don't know, it seems to have lost a bit of its shine.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not so. I mean, I did like bits in it, like why has that man not got a shirt on? And somebody saying, so let me get this straight, the situation you're in, and this is the one thing that you're concerned about is him not wearing a shirt. So I like little bits like that, some little bits of the humor in it, but I don't know. Apart from that, it just didn't have the same sort of, you know, that sort of oomph behind it to make it as enjoyable as I found it last time.
See, I'm the opposite. I found it more interesting on the lured stuff at the very beginning, where you have that question of what the fuck is she up to? Is she just playing around? Is she teasing? Is she doing something more manipulative? I'm not too sure.
Yeah. And
when it went into stalker slasher thing, that's when I got really bored with it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing just to continue that on, I think the problem I had was that the setup promised a lot and delivered very little. It gave you this kind of, oh, what's going to happen? But really what you had was essentially a slightly more gory version of Goonies. I mean, the kid even looked like fucking Corey Haim 2.0. I mean, and essentially she lures him in, she puts him to sleep, or supposedly puts him to sleep. And then the idea was that if he hadn't done anything, she would have literally just used the blood in the sacrifice, used the blood in the ceremony, stayed young, and gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
So effectively, the whole movie has no stakes to it. It only goes wonky when he goes and witnesses all the other murder stuff, and next thing you know, suddenly all the rails come off. But the problem is, when the rails come off, the film doesn't really do anything. It goes to generic slasher.
Yeah.
And as soon as it goes to generic slasher, my brain just shuts down. It's not doing anything interesting, but barring putting up a couple of captions, like knowing captions, like, the book, or, the bed sheets, or whatever it was. I can't even remember the fucking captions now. And that's the problem I have, is it's like The Hitcher. If you watch The Hitcher, it's kind of like, who is this guy? He's really creepy. He's a psychopath. Kick him out the car. What's going to happen next? And the movie is constantly making you think, oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, I don't know. But in this one, it just becomes like the most basic of basic slasher movies. It is literally, we run around the house and run around under the house and over the house and around the house. And then eventually the kid grows a pair and fights back, by which point you already know that's going to happen because you got 20 minutes left to go.
Yeah, and only one person left.
And only one person left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone involved is basically dead of their own, own idiocy, mainly.
Can I ask you, you've just touched on something which I really didn't even notice. Now, this may have been part of the story, and maybe a bit where I just went, do you know what? I don't care anymore. You said that she was performing a ritual to stay young. Was that an actual thing? Or is that just like you assume that?
No, that's what she says, and that's what the kid says.
So, is she like 80, 90 years old, or is it just a young person going, oh yeah, this will keep me young?
It's young, trying to remain young.
Okay, yeah. So there is no supernatural.
Well, you don't know that, because the thing is, it's kind of hinted at and implied, but it's so ham-fistedly done that you don't really get an idea of whether or not there's anything more to it. Because he says, "I'm not the first, am I?" And she goes, "No." And he goes, "So what are you going to do? Just use me up and then move on?" And she said, "That's what I usually do."
Yeah, I remember that, but I didn't get any time frame of how long the babysitter had been there and been doing this.
Well, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. There's so many moments like that where I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh right, so she's somehow, there's something that could be done that was clever, like she's immortal now or something. She's done it so many times and she's starting to weaken, so she's looking for another kid to fucking sort out and then move on. And what happens is, that's how he beats her. He just outlasts her, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, and she starts to desiccate. But nope, that all gets forgotten. I mean, it literally gets mentioned once and then it's gone. And to me, that's the part of the problem. It's the whole film is a bundle of ideas, and then it just goes, nah, you know what? Fuck it. She's hot. The kid fancies her. Let's have a fight.
I think that's the major problem with it, isn't it? We've got a hot young lady here, and we got a young
horny kid.
How old was he? Like 13 or 14 or
I
Can't quite remember.
He's 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's very
Mm.
fucking.
He's shaky to say the least.
Yeah.
The very
Shaky Stevens, yeah.
Oh, Shaky
Well,
Stevens, yeah.
It's shaky to have that sort of thing where it's, is she looking at him like that? Isn't she looking at him like that? And what the fuck are you thinking, honestly?
But that's what I'm saying. There's lots of clever subtext that you could have put on something like this. I mean, Darren's already touched upon it with like, how do you feel about this? You know, it's that sort of double standard. You know, if someone who is her age was male doing the same to a girl,
Indeed.
then it would be outrage. It would be all about. It would all be about, you know, he's using the power. He's abusing her, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It'd be the whole Lolita thing played out, and there's a whole dialogue you can have about that. And then there's also the fact that now you've reversed the roles. We're supposed to be looking at her in the same way the kid's looking at us. So instead of going, hold on, this is an older person using their power on a younger kid, and you know, who doesn't understand their own sexuality or their hormones are raging and all this kind of stuff. Suddenly you're supposed to be sitting there going, go on, my son. And that's kind of what the film's doing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. It's egging you on, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the problem. You know, the film does it. The film leers over her when she's standing there in the bra and pants and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, if that's your plan, then fine. If you want to make something of it, then investigate that. You know, horror films have been doing this kind of shit for years. You know, put a subtext under things.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking hell, that fall of the House of Usher is exactly a good example. It's like the subtext is, if you could get away with anything, would you be a nice person? No, you fucking well wouldn't. You'd be an amoral arsehole, and eventually when the bill comes to you, you would fail in the hardest way. And this film just goes, actually, isn't she hot? She is a bit hot, isn't she? If I was a 12-year-old boy, I would, wouldn't I? And that's kind of what it's doing. And that,
well, we've all been 12-year-old boys at one point, haven't we?
Speak for yourself. I just came out.
I know it's a long time for you guys. Yes, I understand this.
I came out of the chrysalis fully formed. No, but
down with the kids, me. What are you talking about?
Hello, my fellow children. But that's the thing, isn't it? You can be a young person lusting after another person, and you can, and there's plenty of films that do that, and there's plenty of stories throughout history that do that. But but whenever you play it in a certain way to a certain gender stereotype, if it's the lady in charge and the boys or the male is kind of younger, then it's always, oh, isn't he lucky? You know, oh, go on, son.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
you know,
the other way around is
everything from The Graduate upwards to what, you know, Graduate, White City. You pick a film with that sort of setup, and it's always sold as, you know, he's the lucky dude, she's the horny cougar going after him. Isn't it a wicked thing? You know, but role reverse, and you end up with Lolita and, you know, paedophilia and all this kind of stuff, and it all gets thrown in. And it's like, oh, isn't that dodgy and creepy and horrible? And that role reverse could have been really interesting in this if they had decided to treat it like that and go, no, actually, why are we leching over her? But the film goes, nah, fuck it. He's a 12-year-old boy. He's being pulled into the honey trap.
It doesn't even ask that question of why are we leching over her. It's just, go on, guys, fill your boots.
Yeah. Yeah. Here she is. Look, she's hot. She knows all the best science fiction team ups.
Mm-hmm.
She's a geek. She's hot. She dances. She's got no care in the world. Yeah. And if you're a dweeb who's being bullied, don't worry. She'll even scare off the bullies. You know, she's the perfect woman.
You too can have a hot older lady like this.
Yeah, exactly. And the sort of, the fallout of it is what? And she's evil devil worshipper. But you know what? She actually, even then, even after all of that, when she takes the blood off him and he confronts her towards the end, it's still sold as, well, you were actually my favourite. I really did like you, and I probably would have moved on. And, don't worry, I wasn't actually going to kill you. I was just going to take your blood, do the ceremony, and leave.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's not even going to say, like, actually she's genuinely evil. She's just doing this just to survive. She's just moving on. And she did genuinely like him, which is why she didn't kill him.
Mm.
It's like, it's shitty wish fulfillment all the way through.
Yeah. See, I have a problem with this type of movie as well, okay? And only one other film springs to mind. And this is supposed to be like a 12-year-old kid, so is the actual film aimed at 12? What is it rated? Is it like 15?
I
think it's like PG-13 or something. Oh, it's 15.
15.
It's rated 15. So, okay, yeah, it is aimed at that sort of age of the kid in the film, because you are going to have that sort of age person trying to sneak in and watch this type of movie, because they're going to fucking lap this thing up. But it always it makes me uncomfortable when you have a film like this where it's aimed at someone just above the age that is aimed at, and so that person who's playing that person, they can't go to watch it, so it feels it feels inappropriate that the person in the film wouldn't be able to actually go and watch the film that they're actually in.
So by that measure, something like The Exorcist is right out.
Kind of, yes. But, okay, here's another example. So, Love Actually. Now, I that could be deemed like a kid's movie, a kid's children, Christmas type movie. Well, yeah, because there is a heartwarming children's story all the way through that.
What about abuse and adultery and stalkers and porn stars? But apart from...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's you
apart
have
from the porn stars. What has Roman Empire ever given us? Yeah.
Apart from the porn stars, the adultery, the Neil Young CD, the stalker, Andrew What's-It from The Walking Dead standing outside trying to chat up a newlywed. What has Love Actually ever given us? Go on. Sorry, mate.
What I'm trying to say is there is like a children's story in the middle of that, running through the vein of it. And similar to this, where you have a child's perspective of like a slasher night, where it just feels inappropriate for that to be there, because either they wouldn't be able to go watch it, or it feels like it's aimed above them, and so I'm going to watch a children's movie which children can't go to see.
Right.
I feel like I'm explaining it all wrong. Sorry, but
yeah, go on.
I can go watch the kids be chased around by knife wielding crazies. How am I saying this? There's something there that is not quite coming out at the moment, but other kids who want to go watch this are unable to watch it because it's too highly rated for them.
Yeah.
Where really it's aimed at them, but because it's too violent, it's not appropriate for them.
Yeah, so like Carrie Henn couldn't watch Aliens until for at least 10 years, and she was in it.
Kind of, yeah.
Nude.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
But no, but that film isn't aimed at her age, though. That's what I mean. It's not aimed at her solely because she's like not the main character. So this is based... We have a child running around avoiding being killed. But they expect me to go watch that and find that entertaining, where really I'm just going, well, it's a kid running away. You're not going to kill the kid, are you?
Well, I don't know.
So it's kind of like, what
Yeah.
am I really sitting here? Steve Coogan just go, what?
Yeah. Steve Coog.
Oh, we went there.
Yep. There we go. Now then.
No, not that Steve Coogan. The other Steve Coogan.
Jingly
Alan
jangle-
Partridge. Was it
Jingly
Alan
jangly
Partridge? I
jewel.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand what you're talking about, because there's the aspect of kind of like pitching it at the audience which can't watch it. But
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street is pitched at a very teenage audience which will go to watch this, and it seems appropriate for that to happen. Whereas my other analogy with like Love Actually is there is a child's story in which you'd like to sit down and all the adult stuff would go over the children's head, but then you have like the children's story which they'd be able to follow, but then you got like the porn stuff in there, which really is a total no, and it's like, well, fucking hell, nobody that age can go watch this film now.
No, I mean, it's an odd thing, but I mean, that happens all the time, doesn't it? I mean,
you said Exorcist, but it's not pitched at kids. Exorcist isn't a kids' film, is it?
No, but then you could say like Temple of Doom is a kids' film, but it's actually one that you can't see as a kid because of the heart ripping.
Exactly, yeah.
So poor old Ki Kwan or whatever his name is can't fucking watch it until he was like 5-10 years older, and he was in it. But unfortunately, there's heart ripping in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, fair enough. I mean, but did you find it odd? I'm going to just change tack just very slightly. Did you find it odd that there was this whole subplot of the unrequited love with the 12-year-old girl across the street? Where after this murder and death and all this sort of thing, but he still gets the reward of finally having a kiss, but this time with a real, an equal.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, very odd.
Because again, it's that whole thing of, how are we supposed to be feeling here? Are we supposed to be sitting here going, "Oh, great, he didn't cop off with the person who's like supposedly 12 years his senior, but he got to cop off with the 12-year-old girl across the street." Really? Yay! Hurrah!
Well, once again, it's aimed at that sort of age, and so a film is there to put you in its place and sit you in there somewhere, and you're supposed to get reactions from what's actually happening. And I don't get any reaction from that whatsoever because, number one, I'm not supposed to, and number two, it's fucking wrong. So how am I supposed to be like, yeah, go on, yeah, you can't have the older one, but one your age, go on and get in there, son. No, I'm not supposed to be thinking that at all.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's why the film kind of shoots itself in the foot. You could have made a whole film on the morality thing and do a morality play that, as soon as he gets involved with the babysitter, everything goes south. And she's the villain because she's sort of driven him to that or lured him in. But they weren't gonna condemn her for that, and they weren't gonna condemn him, narratively condemn him or her for their actions. It's just like, yeah, all right, fair enough, good lad. And just move on. So when that goes away, it suddenly just turns into, okay, now what? Oh right, okay, we're just gonna have a generic stalker thing, and it's just like, really, is that it? We're gonna have just a bit of just a bit of run around the house with a knife and some psychopaths. There's nothing to it. It just doesn't. It just kind of comes and goes, and I just all right.
I think the stall was set out early when you have the cheerleader turn up. It's like, oh, why are you in a cheer? Well, obviously, I just came from a game. Yeah, okay, that's a great way of getting around it. But yeah, we know why you put her in a one of them sort of dresses.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and that's the thing. If it's gonna go kitsch, if it's gonna go camp, if it's gonna go high camp and sort of go completely into the sort of like, the Grease sort of what I'm gonna call Grease, where you're like a 30-year-old person pretending to be a 14-year-old girl sort of thing. If you're gonna do that, then go full on, go completely balls out, so to speak, and make it, kitsch and camp and naff and silly and and lurid and over the top. Go absolutely full on, but don't do this kind of halfway house. Either lean into it and go, yeah, we know we're being a bit much, and have fun with that. Go for the shock value. Go mental. But if you're not, then don't do this halfway house, because all it does is it just feels grubby. It stops being kitchen camp and naff and John Waters and all that kind of thing, or one of those kind of 70s horror movies, where everyone's running about, start bollock naked, and they're all pretending to be someone who's 20 years their young junior. But this just feels silly and grubby. Really, you just sit there going, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I hated all the little titles that they stuck up as well.
Yeah,
when they're going through like the captains and the monster you're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting the predator, and it comes up with like the picture of the predator. It's like, give over, stop it.
How did you feel about that, Del?
Oh, I don't know.
Have we reached?
I think I was. Yeah, I think the thing that just threw me out of this whole entire film, I think it was just that opening sequence that's really it spoiled. If I'm thinking about it now, I think it tainted my enjoyment of the rest of it.
It really shot it in the foot, did it?
It really did. I couldn't quite shake it because it was quite uncomfortable to watch, and that kind of put a pin
right in it.
That so anything I saw after that was, I just didn't see it as fun anymore. Well, I couldn't look at this without thinking of that first bit, and it's just,
So are we now saying that thanks to this movie, we've realised despite all the Willy conversations we've had for the last 80 minutes.
Yeah, but they're age appropriate Willies.
Age appropriate Willies.
Age appropriate Willies.
Oh, yes. That's good. Okay. I was going to say, have we changed? Have we grown as people? I doubt it, but I always like to ask that question.
Indeed.
I like to pretend. Well,
sometimes you get your eyes wide. You get your eyes opened as you're. It's like seeing. It's like one of those magic eye pictures. You struggle to see it, and all of a sudden the picture becomes into focus, and you're like, oh, it's a willy. No, I mean it's a boat.
Yeah,
it's a plane. Look.
It's Superman.
Yeah.
It's a willy. It's a boat. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, this film just kind of dropped off my radar as soon as I finished watching it. The captions felt like it was trying to do something that other movies had done before, like Tarantino and Guy Ritchie, even and have done it in 100 times better. And this one's kind of like they just suddenly went, oh yeah, captions, that makes everything ironic. That'll work.
It feels like, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but when you have like a comedy song, but the music is outstanding, and then you really listen to it and you're like, do you know what? You kind of wasted that. You could have had an amazing epic song there, and really you just put bum and fart jokes all over the top because you couldn't write anything.
I think you'll find that's the first 14 years of this podcast, my friend.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, yeah. The podcast equivalent of it. And
yeah.
You have something there which you could have worked with. It could have gone dark. It could have gone creepy. It could have been a clever slasher. But really, it just turned into, let's go into the crawl space and let's kill someone like this. And it just became so bloody generic and boring.
Yeah.
And it had the basis of the beautiful, stunning music, and what we actually got to see were just bum and fart jokes, lyrics.
Well, it's was it Tron Legacy? Was it? Yeah. You know, everyone listens to the music, the Daft Punk music, but I doubt anyone's watched the film in the last sort of 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever it was. Because it's just tedious, just boring.
Do you know what the most I enjoy that film for is I think it's on the soundtrack. It's the opening. I think it's the overture or something that they've got on there. It goes, "The Grid."
Yeah,
and then it describes.
Yeah,
I love that, but that's about one of the most enjoyable parts of that film. Is that track, and that kind of just says something, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You get no argument from me. I've only watched the movie once. I went to a screening of it. I went to see it, and I can barely remember it. Whereas I've still got the Daft Punk music on my iPhone, so I listen to that quite a lot on train journeys.
Do you know, thinking about it, right? Seeing as the first film I think we ever did was Tron. We should do Tron Legacy as the last one when we're thinking of blowing this thing up, setting off the charges. To take the podcast out completely.
Blowing the bridge. We finish on Tron, yeah. Okay.
Indeed. Then we should watch that.
It's
the last film.
I thought we were going to play out on Hottie and the Nottie, but we'll do whatever works.
Oh man, Hottie and the Nottie. Yeah.
Sorry, Elton.
Only after glitter, though.
Hey.
What I was going to say is we were talking about music, and you had that Queen moment where he drove the car into the house, where it's so way over the top. But that's fine. But when the music was happening, I thought it was well timed and worked really well with that moment. And I was going, do you know what? It's getting good. But we're at the end now.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes from the fucking end.
It's so wasted already. It's done. You need that halfway through, definitely.
Yeah, I mean the problem with the whole film is it's so out of balance. There's so many bits where you're just sitting there going, "Oh, for goodness sake!" Now we're gonna have to sit there while he escapes, and you could see the plot points laid out in front of you, right down to the fucking bully kid. I mean, that was the only bit I did like when one of the psychopath without the shirt, stops chasing the kid for 5 minutes to go, now go over to that bully, beat the fuck out of him and be a man. I can kill you. I will kill you. But right now you need to stand up for yourself and go out with some pride or something like that, and sends him over to the bully to fight the bully, and the bully just beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And then wanders off. And it's like, see, that moment there, I want more of that. I want more of that kind of, well, pardon the phrasing, but, sort of Goonies sort of humor, as it were. I'm not a fan of Goonies, but that kind of vibe of kind of like you're expecting this kid to sort of stand up to things, and then it goes the way you don't expect it. I'm like, yeah, cool. Give me some of that. But it doesn't. It just goes, now we'll have some randomly improbable, he couldn't beat the bad guy with all the muscles. The bad guy with all the muscles just happened to slip and fall and get wrapped up in a single strand of rope and managed to hang himself. How?
I don't know what happened there.
No, I don't know what happened there. It wasn't even in a loop. It was just a straight rope. It was just like, you joking, right? Yeah.
It was bad guy, rope, fall, dead.
Yes.
That's
Why?
what it was on the script.
Yes. How is he dead? Don't know. How did he die? Don't know.
Sounds like a new parlour game that families play at Christmas, like charades. You know,
like Cluedo, wasn't it? Oh
Yeah.
yes, this bad guy fell and killed himself by the rope on the treehouse.
How? Don't know. I mean, it's like, it's the Taken thing, isn't it? If you watch Taken, old Liam Neeson gets on the boat at the end. He kills every fucker on that boat, every single person, including the captain of the boat. So who the fuck's driving the boat down the Seine, and it doesn't crash into a bridge? Nobody. Nobody's driving that boat. But if I'm sitting there worried about who's driving the boat, that tells me that the film ain't doing its job.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they put the steering lock on.
But he drove under a bridge without going into the fucking pillars.
Well,
Sen's not straight, mate.
Sin's not straight. I hate to tell you this. No. So, anyway, I think we're done. Has anyone got anything they would like to add just before we finish?
Yeah, just one more awkward situation where I think this sums up the whole film for me. You have the kid looking through the banisters at what they're doing and playing all the party games before, and then you have the two girls kissing, and you're like, I think you said it earlier on, it felt so imbalanced. And that is if this was, well, I don't know if it was the other way around or what, but it just felt so fucking wrong and tacky and just crappy.
It felt like the writer and the director were more interested in the sexy bits than they were in telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's very Michael Bay Transformers.
Yes, it was at his happiest and moving at the right pacing and spending more time on editing for that scene where she dives into the pool than it takes with any of the other action in that movie.
Yeah.
The action in the movie is all haphazard, all over the place. Stupid things like who has tarantulas underneath the fucking house. It's like,
they do.
Tarantulas? Really? It's like, so there were so many naff little things. It's like, oh, we couldn't just have spiders. We couldn't just have insects. No, we've got tarantulas underneath the basement.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay. And we've blown up the basement of the house with the fireworks. And nothing else happens? Nothing to the house? No, because
it's fireproof.
Yeah, so we've just got bored and we've moved on. Whereas, like the bit when they're doing the kiss, when the babysitter and the cheerleader, are doing the kiss. Yeah. That kiss went on for about a minute and a half, and you're like, right, okay, fine. Is there a point to this beyond the fact we're supposed to be knocking one out quickly in the cinema? What is the point? Because that was the thing. Everything like that was just leering, and when it's leering, it's like, okay, if you're going to go leering, and this this is why another reason why I was hoping Jim would be here. There are movies where you can have lurid sexual content, and the film is not just comfortable with that, but pushing it in your face, pardon the phrase, but it's doing it in a way that's so knowing and camp and crazy that it's actually part of the, we know this is stupid and shit, so do you, let's just go with it. And, giallo movies and fucking horror movies of the 70s, all that kind of stuff, they're doing it with almost a tongue firmly in their cheek. This didn't have that. It didn't have that cleverness.
No.
It didn't have that self-awareness. It literally was, well, I tell you what, why don't we have a game of spin the bottle and let's have a kiss that goes on for 5 minutes so that we can have one of the male characters stand there and go, damn. It's like, right, all right.
Yep. No, I think you got that spot on.
Damn. And it was, and that was the thing. There was no point to it. Just, and all the time, the 12-year-old girl's texting the boy going, are they having an orgy? And it's just like, oh, for fuck off.
Yeah.
And that was all it was doing. It was literally just the director and the writer going, what can we get her to do next? Oh, I'm not finished. Oh, she's by the pool. Oh, we got a cheerleader now and they're kissing. I mean, seriously.
Turns into a Star Wars wank. Almost there.
Yeah,
Almost there.
I can't shake it.
And then you got a 12-year-old kid's face on there. And you're like, oh, hang on, no.
Back up.
Haven't. Back up.
No, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though, that they're editing this, and then you've got a 12-year-old kid there.
Yeah. But again, the 12-year-old kid, when it cuts to the 12-year-old kid, what's he doing? He's literally sitting there with a big old shit-eating grin on his face going, whoa. I mean, he's practically doing this. I mean, you know.
We're too old for this film, aren't we?
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen films like Weird Science and stuff like that, and Risky Business and all this sort of shit, where it's all mental nut stuff with prostitutes and computer generated babes and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Frankenhooker and For God's sakes, you know, and all this kind of stupid stuff.
Yes, I've seen that.
And it's nuts. But the thing is, the whole film is nuts, and the whole film is so outlandish and stupid that you know for a fact that everyone involved is just looking there and going, oh, for fuck's sake, we'll never get away with this, will we? Oh, yes, we will. Whereas this feels like McG is sitting there behind the camera literally asking for a privacy blind while he's filming.
So it didn't go nuts enough then? Is that what we're agreed on?
It's not just that it didn't go nuts enough. It's just it didn't seem self-aware enough. If you do this kind of stuff and you kind of look and the characters are basically looking at you going, huh? Look at this shit. And we know it's shit. And it condemns the shit at the end. Then, you know, you're kind of in on the joke.
Well,
but it didn't feel like a joke. It just felt like all they're doing is going, hey, look, oi, hey.
I think it did try to do that with these sort of films need to have, each character needs their own death. And they tried to do that. But they weren't crazy enough. They weren't over the top enough. They were a bit bland, really, weren't they? You know, there was a moment where the cheerleader was going to kill him, and yet our main protagonist came in and shot her in the head. It kind of just removed all that. You lost all that fun there. Yeah,
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is out of whack, out of balance, and it's lurid and leering, as opposed to ironic and silly and outlandish and knowing, and that's the problem. It sounds weird. I'm like I say, I really wish Jim was here because I'm sure he'd pull up a couple of references straight away. But it's almost like you need to have that self-awareness that we know we're crass and camp and lurid and leered and just mental. We can't just have films just suddenly going, oh yeah, look at her, and then just going, that's right, isn't it? That's good, isn't it? And not cast a judgment upon it. You know, not that you're supposed to have a character sort of spell the thing out to you, but you can't. I don't know. It feels to me like it wasn't done with the intentions of anything other than titillation, in which case I might as well have watched a porn movie and a slasher movie one after the other.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the point.
Darren?
Yes?
Have you seen this sequel?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
It involves another set of oldsters, teenagers. The kid, it's the same kid again, but he's older this time. He's like two years older than what he was in the film,
right?
And basically, it's some more teenagers who are actually trying to bring back Samara Weaving's character.
So there is a supernatural element to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
In that one, there is, yeah.
So, but that all gets lost. In the first one, it's completely lost. It's just hidden away underneath all the other crap. Yeah, it's just not for me. Slasher movies have to really push themselves out there for them to work for me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see me suggesting the sequel for the next one that I want to watch. So, you're safe.
Nice. Okay, then. Well, I think we'll leave it there. I think that's probably the best thing. If anyone else has seen The Babysitter or vehemently disagrees with us, then by all means, send in a feedback. Send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or join us on the Facebook group. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Now, before we go to Pimp's Corner and find out what's happening all over our other podcasts, I got a missive no less, from Mr. Jim Moon. And he sent us this.
Hello folks, sorry I'm not with you this week. For the record, we quite enjoyed The Babysitter on a second view. It's not the world's smartest movie, but it is a very, very fun one. Brilliantly over the top, I think. Anyhow, for your next instalment in the Indeterminate Weeks of Horror, I believe it is my choice. And I'm heading over to Netflix to a film you probably haven't heard of, and I'm guessing none of you have seen. It is a Spanish horror movie called Don't Listen. It's from 2020, and as always, I recommend going in as blind as you can. However, you might want the oven on, if you know what I mean. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Jim.
That's more production value in that 2 minutes
than there was in the whole of our fucking last 85 minutes of podcast. Well, that's awkward, isn't it? Him and Teresa quite like the film. Well, there you go. See, going to prove that we all have our own opinions on this podcast. We're not all just following the leader. Well, thank you very much for that, Jim. Don't listen, eh?
What?
What? Who said that? Apparently, we've got to go in blind, so I'm not going to look it up right now. I'm not even going to look up the poster yet, because normally I do that for the Facebook group. Has anyone else seen this film?
No.
Elton?
No, I haven't. No.
We've got to have the oven on. Apparently,
scare me, isn't it?
I was going to say, because it's good. Yeah.
Could this be roast potatoes by any chance?
I was going to say, actually, we haven't had a roast potato scale, have we? How did the Babysitter fit on the roast potato?
Didn't even get anywhere near it.
Didn't even peel the spuds.
No.
Right.
Not even a portion of microwave chips.
Not even an Aunt Bessie's. Not even out of the freezer.
Not at all.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Okay. So Don't Listen. It's on Netflix. That's all we know. We have no idea what we're dealing with. And you're reckoning on a roast potato wallop next week then, Elton?
Look, the last Spanish movie I watched?
Yeah.
wreck.
Yeah, I know. that was the first thing that leapt to my mind as well, and it's like, oh, we've not really dealt with a lot of Spanish horror movies, and the
No.
only one we have was an absolute fucking humdinger.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one, I guess. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we review that, I guess. Darren, I mean, you haven't seen it. You have
Not at all.
idea. No. Okay.
Not at all.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. So, let's go to Pimp's Corner. Now Jim's obviously not here. He hasn't sent us a well-produced missive for his for his Pimp's Corner section, but I can tell you for a fact that the latest episode of Hypnagoria is covering the Pet Sematary movie Bloodlines, the sequel that just came out, and that's episode 249. And he's also doing some more stuff on his Halloween
Commentary Club.
Yeah, commentary club. Yeah, the silly idiot went and fucking watched Super Mario Bros. I mean, I don't know what's possessed him to do that.
What were they thinking?
I don't know. It's mental. But
craziness.
But you can find that over at hypnagoria.com as well. Look up CC Mario. Commentary Club Mario. And finally, he's also doing his Halloween Advent, and yes, he does little podcast minisodes and images and little readings and stuff like that. And you can find that all over on hypnagoria.com. And what about you, Elton?
I'm only playing The Long Dark still,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find me running into a bear this week.
Old Compton Street?
Not that kind of bear.
Okay. Fair enough. Gotta know. Don't know how these things can play out.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't explain myself too well there, sorry.
No. So, yes, and that's over at rogue2media.com and
That's
on the
right,
YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Awesome. Right, and lastly, Darren, anything?
No.
Right, brilliant. Same here. So we'll leave it at that. But before we say goodbye, I'm going to now make the new tradition after the success of outing all of those people who say they listen and don't by doing cod in batter sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now going to do another catchphrase. Another phrase, and I want to see it on the Facebook group with no explanations. Just say it, and we will know you have hit the end. You have clearly oozed stamina and made it right through to the end of this absolute bilge to get to this phrase. So, if you want to do this phrase, just post it up on the Facebook group, and we will know you have got to the end of the podcast. The phrase is Metal Mickey's cod in batter sauce. That is Mickey's cod in batter sauce.
You've really gone for the random one there, haven't you?
Well, I could do.
You pushed all your,
What would you suggest then? Go on, I'm going to throw the random out. We're going to forget Metal Mickey's cod in batter sauce. Forget that.
Okay.
See, that's the fake out. That's the fake out for the people who jump to the end.
Oh,
so go on in.
Very clever.
What's the real one, Darren?
My water buffalo is full of holes.
There you go. My water buffalo is full of holes. No explanation.
Yep.
No nothing.
You don't need to explain that one at all.
Just post it up and we will know you've made it to the end. If you post up Metal Mickey's cod in batter sauce, we'll know you just jumped to the end and thought you got away with it.
Yep, well, Klosh was a non-believer.
A non-believer.
Oh no, said Thomas, a non-believer.
A non-believer.
If you really want to impress us, go to iTunes and leave a review with that on there.
Oh, yeah. There you go. My water buffalo is full of holes. 5 stars. So there you go. My water buffalo is full of holes. And then that's it. Thank you very much. So until next time, thank you, Darren. Thank you, Jim.
No problem.
Thank you, Elton.
Word.
I'm saying thank you, Jim, because he did leave a message.
He did.
And thank you to everyone who listens, and thank you to everyone who posts up that their water buffalo is full of holes. And until next time, we'll see you all for Don't Listen. Until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I like the gap so I can insert Jim in there.
Yeah.
I won't, but I appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
Baby, baby.
Oh, bollocks to it.